Uh, Lil TJay got shot since last time. I guess he got shot 7 times.
Yeah.
Did you know TJ at all?
No, I don't know TJ.
To think that in 2022 in New Jersey, this shit could still happen.
It can happen anywhere, Vlad.
Do you feel that things are worse? Like, I mean, you don't live in New York anymore, but you lived in New York most of your life.
Yeah.
And you still go back to New York, I assume.
Yeah, I just was in New York like 2 days ago.
Do you feel that things are worse now in New York, crime-wise?
Well, I mean, from when?
From 10 years ago.
10 years ago? Yeah. Like 20 years ago? 30 years ago? Like in the 90s and shit? No. I think it's probably but it went back to around there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it was bad in like the 80s, not like the 90s, like the early 90s. It was bad. Like, you've been to Lower East Side?
Yeah.
But Lower East Side, Avenue A, B, C, D, all that.
It was all heroin.
Yeah, it looked like the place in Philly. What's that called? Where in Philly? What's the name of the place in Philly where all the people be shooting up?
Amsterdam?
No, it's called. Yeah, can you find it? It's a place in Philly where all the heroin addicts.
The Badlands?
Huh?
The Philadelphia Badlands?
No, it's another name. But in the comments section.
Well, I looked up the Philadelphia Badlands, the section North Philadelphia and Lower Northeast Philadelphia, is known for an abundance of open air recreational drug markets and drug related violence.
Right. There's another place. It's called something. Kensington.
There we go. Yeah.
Kensington
Drug Market.
Yeah, Kensington. Yo, it was like Kensington, like worse than Kensington. Like Kensington, I walked there. There's people shooting up broad daylight. Kids walking by. They're in front of the car, the mirror right there. Uh-huh. They're in front of the car mirror shooting up. I'm like, damn, broad day. Kids coming from school. It was like that in Lower East Side back then. You know what I mean? It was bad. You know, so I definitely don't think it's like that now. Like, so I don't think it's as worse as the 80s and the 90s, but it's definitely worse than 10 years ago.
And why do you think that is? Because police are scared to get sued and aren't really doing shit as much.
Right.
So how do you feel about that?
They kind of like took their power like a little bit. You know?
So how do you feel about it? You think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's both. I think it's both. I think that's not I don't think that's not the answer for the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, pulling the police out is not the answer for the problem. You know? There's other answers, that addresses the root of the issue.
Such as?
I mean, what's causing all of the crimes and stuff in the neighborhoods, like what is going on. So I think that in order for our country to really even make any type of fixing, is like they gotta fix the laws and shit. They gotta change some stuff. Like, all of that, those laws and all that stuff is, everything needs to be refreshed, everything. And I think that because of how our society is, it just takes too much to just change one thing. Like, we all have to agree, and then, you don't agree, I don't agree. Okay, should this table be black or white? Oh my God, that one conversation, that one decision will take like a year to decide. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think, things are really getting done like that. So I don't think that the way our society is right now, by you pulling the police out, is gonna change anything. It's just gonna increase the violence and increase the crime. You know what I mean? But the issues that are causing the root of all of the stuff that's happening in these communities, that's not being addressed. You know what I mean? Mental health is not being addressed properly. The way the poverty and all that, that all of that stuff is not being addressed. So I feel like in order for any change to happen, you gotta address that, and not you pulling the police out, ain't gonna do nothing but make it worse.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a weird situation because I remember I grew up in the Bay Area, right? And I remember I grew up in San Mateo, and maybe 20 minutes away, there's a city called Palo Alto, which is where Stanford University is. It's where, eventually, Apple, it's where Apple's always been located. Google eventually moved there, all the big tech companies and so forth. But there was always this thing where there was sort of this poor area of Palo Alto and the rich area. And the rich people kind of wanted to separate themselves from the poor area, so they actually split it in two, and you had Palo Alto and East Palo Alto. East Palo Alto, when it got formed, essentially had no police force. So motherfuckers lost their mind. It turned into like the murder capital. It turned into a drug den. Like most of the shootings and everything that was happening in the Bay Area was happening in East Palo Alto because there was just no police force. And Palo Alto police didn't have jurisdiction there. So they had this tiny little couple cops who really just couldn't do much. And the city just fell into shambles. And it's right next to a really wealthy area. It's really surrounded by wealthy areas.
Right.
So, I mean, me personally, I wouldn't want to live in a city where there's no police. Would you?
No.
But yet you don't like the police.
I mean, I don't.
So,
I don't
you
like
see
the
what I'm
police.
saying? But they have a purpose, even if you don't like them.
No, yeah, I'm not saying that they don't have a purpose. I'm not saying that they don't, because in this society, there's a like they have to be here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're asking me if I would trade it for something else that has a better system, yeah, I would trade that. You know what I mean? Because I don't think that the police really they're the way it's set up. It's not fair. You know what I'm saying? So, but how this system is, how our country is, we need the police.
Yeah.
Because that's just how it's been set up. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that, I'm just saying that I wouldn't cooperate with the police. I'm not saying that I hate the police or that I don't think that they should exist here. You know what I'm saying? But they have to be here or else it's going to be crazy. What are you going to do without no police? That's why I don't understand. People were saying abolish the police. Well, what are you going to do when there's no police? Like, what the hell are you going to do?
Yeah, what happens if someone robs your house and you have no one to call?
Right, and now you're seeing that. So it's like that's not the.
You are seeing. You're right. You're seeing. I remember hearing these stories about people I know.
But then it's two hands though. So like, check this out. You got one point where when the police was very active, right? They're oppressing though. So these people right here are safe, right? But these people are being oppressed. You know what I'm saying? So you got people planting drugs, planting guns, doing all this crazy stuff to these people, but they're being oppressed. And these people are safe. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, okay, now you take the police away, right? You take the police away. Now these people over here is being affected. You know what I'm saying? So it's like both of them, it's not right. You know what I'm saying? So it's just another solution needs to be thought of.
Yeah, well, police revenue comes from taxes. So when you go into richer areas the people pay higher taxes in those areas, they have higher, property taxes and stuff like that. Ultimately, you could have a better police force, a bigger police force, better technology. They know that the people they're protecting are paying a lot of money for these services. They also could sue, if they act improperly. It's going to be a lot different than in a poor neighborhood where essentially a lot of the population is on welfare. So no money's really, everything from the police is coming from the state and federal level. And they know that the people they fuck with really can't sue them because they don't have any money. And a lot of times the police don't even come from that area. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people in that community don't want to become police officers. So you have police officers from different areas who may be a different race, don't know about the logistics of how things function. And you get a situation where it's just animosity.
Right.